Hello, my name is Matthew.
Buenas noches, me llamo Amanda.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Melissa.
And we're with the Tampa Hillsborough County Public Library. Welcome to One Book, One Night, The Necklace by Guy de Maupassant. Did I say that right, Melissa? I really don't know. But my French is like so outdated and completely gone from my mind. But One Book, One Night is where we choose books that you can read in one or just a few short sittings. And this is a great one. We really look forward to sharing it with you. And to find out about more events, we'll post this again a little bit later on, hcplc.org/events. And we have some great reading planned for you as well as some interaction. So I'm going to kick it on over to Amanda, and I'll see you all in a minute.
All right.
Okay, before we get into the necklace, we do want to do a book shout out for a book that might be a read-alike for this one. So if you enjoy something that is richly detailed, mysterious, a little bit of angst in there, kind of a luxurious settings and descriptions, we recommend Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Now that is actually, it sounds like a French name, but she's actually an English author. She is a master of suspense. You may have, Rebecca was recently, if you've seen it as the recent Netflix movie, or maybe the classic one with Laurence Olivier and Joan Fontaine. But if you want to read the original story, you can find the book, Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, in hcplc.org/books for our regular catalog, or you can also find it in ebook format at hcplc.org/ebooks. Okay, Melissa, I am going to take myself off, and let's get into that first poll.
Sounds good. Well, guys, I actually want to know, I kind of want to know two things, actually, since you guys are here with us on this Friday night. I want to ask you first, how familiar you are with The Necklace, which we're about to read by Guy de Maupassant. So go ahead and tell us if you've read it for sure, if you've heard of it, or if it's something that's totally new for you. And just get ready to have more polls, by the way, as we go, since this will be an interactive program. And I'm going to share the results with you guys, which is actually kind of exciting for me. And it seems like it is totally new to a lot of you guys. So that's wonderful. I'll tell you just a little bit. Guy de Maupassant was a master of realist literature in France in the 1800s. He wrote about real life, what it was really like for people. And you'll let us know afterwards how you feel about it. And I'm going to run another poll about Rebecca, actually, that Amanda just shared with you. You're doing an excellent job, all of you voting, by the way. How does this recommendation sound to you, Rebecca? Maybe you read it already. Maybe it sounds like it's not really your style, or maybe it sounds interesting. Okay, I'll just give it like 2 more seconds so that you guys can all get in. You guys are actually all in agreement. I don't know the last time that happened 2 polls in a row, but it sounds interesting to you. So yay for being an awesome, receptive audience. And I'm going to turn my camera off so that you guys can focus on the readings a little bit more. And I'm going to kick it on over to Matthew, who is going to get us started. Before we do that, though, I do want to remind you, since it is an interactive program, keep this question in mind. We're going to ask you at the very end to share your thoughts on the problem in the story. What should happen in your opinion? What are you noticing about the characters in the story and their dilemma? All right, I hope that sounds good. And now back to you, Matthew.
The Diamond Necklace. The girl was one of those pretty and charming young creatures who sometimes are born, as if by a slip of fate, into a family of clerks. She had no dowry, no expectations, no way of being known, understood, loved, married by any rich and distinguished man. So she let herself be married to a little clerk of the Ministry of Public Instruction. She dressed plainly because she could not dress well, but she was unhappy, as if she had really fallen from a higher station, since with women there is neither caste nor rank, for beauty, grace, and charm take the place of family and birth. Natural ingenuity, instinct for what is elegant, a supple mind, are of their sole hierarchy, and often make of women the people, the equals of the very greatest ladies.
C'était une de ces jolies et charmantes filles, née, comme par une erreur du destin, dans une famille d'employés. Elle n'avait pas de dot, pas d'espérance, aucun moyen d'être connue, comprise, aimée, épousée par un homme riche et distingué. Et elle laissa se marier avec un petit commis du ministère d'instruction publique. Elle fut simple ne pouvant être parée, mais malheureuse comme une déclassée, car les femmes n'ont point de caste ni de race. Leur beauté, leur grâce et leur charme leur servant de naissance et de famille, leur finesse native, leur instinct d'élégance, leur souplesse d'esprit sont leur seule hiérarchie et font des filles du peuple les égales des plus grandes dames.
El collar. Era una de esas hermosas y encantadoras criaturas, nacidas como por un error del destino en una familia de empleados. Carecía de dote y no tenía esperanzas de cambiar de posición. No disponía de ningún medio para ser conocida, comprendida, querida, para encontrar un esposo rico y distinguido, y aceptó entonces casarse con un modesto empleado del Ministerio de Instrucción Pública. No pudiendo adornarse, fue sencilla, pero desgraciada, como una mujer obligada por la suerte a vivir en una esfera inferior a la que le corresponde. Porque las mujeres no tienen casta ni raza, pues su belleza, su atractivo y su encanto les sirven de ejecutoría de familia. Su nativa firmeza, su instinto de elegancia y su flexibilidad de espíritu son para ellas la única jerarquía, que iguala a las hijas del pueblo con las más grandes señoras.
Mathilde suffered ceaselessly, feeling herself born to enjoy all delicacies and all luxuries. She was distressed at the poverty of her dwelling, at the bareness of the walls, at the shabby chairs, the ugliness of the curtains. All those things, of which another woman of her rank would never even have been conscious, tortured her, made her angry. The sight of the little Breton peasant who did her humble housework aroused in her despairing regrets and bewildering dreams. She thought of silent antechambers, hung with oriental tapestry, illumined by tall bronze candelabra, and of two great footmen in knee breeches who sleep in the big armchairs, making drowsy by the oppressive heat of the stove. She thought of long reception halls hung with ancient silk, of the dainty cabinets containing priceless curiosities, and of the little coquettish perfumed reception rooms made for chatting at 5 o'clock with intimate friends, with men famous and sought after, whom all women envy and whose attention they all desire.
Sounds like a very nice life. Elle souffrait sans cesse, se sentant née pour toutes les délicatesses et tous les luxes. Elle souffrait de la pauvreté de son logement, de la misère des murs, de l'usure des sièges, de la laideur des étoffes. Toutes ces choses dont une autre femme de la caste ne serait même pas aperçue, la torturaient et l'indignaient. La vue de la petite Bretonne qui faisait son humble ménage éveillait en elle des regrets désolés et des rêves éperdus. Elle songeait aux antichambres muettes, capitonnées avec des tentures orientales, éclairées par des hautes torchères de bronze, et aux deux grands valets en culottes courtes qui dorment dans les larges fauteuils, assoupis par la chaleur lourde du calorifère. Elle songeait au grand salon vêtu de soie ancienne, aux meubles fins portant des bibelots inestimables et au petit salon coquet, parfumé, fait pour la causerie de 5 heures avec les amis les plus intimes, les hommes connus et recherchés dont toutes les femmes envient et désirent l'attention.
Sufría constantemente, sintiéndose nacida para todas las delicadezas y todos los lujos. Sufría contemplando la pobreza de su hogar, la miseria de las paredes, sus estropeadas sillas, su fea indumentaria. Todas estas cosas, en las cuales ni siquiera habría reparado ninguna otra mujer de su casa, la torturaban y le llenaban de indignación. La vista de la muchacha bretona que le servía de criada despertaba en ella pesares desolados y delirantes ensueños. Pensaba en las antecámaras mudas, guarnecidas de tapices orientales, alumbradas por altas lámparas de bronce, y en los dos pulcros lacayosos de calzón corto, dormidos en anchos sillones, amoderados por el intenso calor de la estufa. Pensaba en los grandes salones colgados de sedas antiguas, en los finos muebles repletos de figurillas inestimables y en los saloncillos coquetones, perfumados, dispuestos para hablar 5 horas con los amigos más íntimos, los hombres famosos y agasajados, cuyas atenciones ambicionan todas las mujeres.
When she sat down to dinner before the round table covered with a tablecloth and used 3 days, opposite her husband, who uncovered the soup tureen and declared with a delighted air, "Ah, the good soup! I don't know anything better than that." She thought of dainty dinners, of shining silverware, of tapestry that peopled the walls, that with ancient personages and with strange birds flying in the midst of a fairy forest. And she thought of delicious dishes served on marvelous plates, and of the whispered gallantries to which you listen with a sphinx-like smile while you are eating the pink meat of a trout or the wings of a quail. She had no gowns, no jewels, nothing. And she loved nothing but that. She felt made for that. She would have liked so much to please, to be envied, to be charming, to be sought after. She had a friend, a former schoolmate at the convent, who was rich and whom she did not like to go see anymore because she felt so sad when she came home. But one evening her husband reached home with a triumphant air and holding a large envelope in his hand. "There," said he, "there is something for you."
Quand elle s'asseyait pour dîner devant la table ronde couverte d'une nappe de 3 jours, en face de son mari qui découvrait la soupière en déclarant d'un air enchanté: "Ah, le bon pauvre feu, je ne sais rien de meilleur que cela." Elle songeait au dîner fin, aux argenteries reluisantes, aux tapisseries peuplant les murailles des personnages anciens et d'oiseaux étranges au milieu d'une forêt de féerie. Elle songeait aux plats exquis servis en des vaisselles merveilleuses, aux galanteries chuchotées et écoutées avec un sourire de sphinx, tout en mangeant la chair rose d'une truite ou des ailes de glinottes. Elle n'avait pas de toilette, pas de bijoux, rien. Et elle n'aimait que cela. Elle se sentait faire pour cela. Elle eut tant désiré plaire, être enviée, être séduisante et recherchée. Elle avait une amie riche, une camarade couvent qu'elle ne voulait plus aller voir tant qu'elle souffrait en revenant. Et elle pleurait pendant des jours entiers de chagrin, de regret, de désespoir et de détresse. Or, un soir, son mari rentra, l'air glorieux et tenant à la main une large enveloppe. "Tiens", dit-il, "voici quelque chose pour toi."
Cuando, a las horas de comer, se sentaba delante de una mesa redonda, cubierta por un mantel de 3 días, frente a su esposo, que destapaba la sopera, diciendo con aire de satisfacción: "¡Ah, qué buen caldo! No hay nada para mí tan excelente como esto." Pensaba en las comidas delicadas, en los servicios de plata resplandecientes, en los tapices que cubren las paredes con personajes antiguos y aves extrañas dentro de un bosque fantástico. Pensaba en los exquisitos y selectos manjares, ofrecidos en fuentes maravillosas, en las galanterías murmuradas y escuchadas con sonrisa de esfinge, al tiempo que se paladea la sonrosada carne de una trucha o a un alón de faisán. No poseía galas femeninas, ni una joya, nada absolutamente, y solo aquello de que carecía le gustaba. No se sentía formado, sino para aquellos goces imposibles. ¿Cuánto habría dado por agradar, ser enviada, ser atractiva y asediada? Tenía una amiga rica, una compañera de colegio a la cual no quería ir a ver con frecuencia, porque sufría más al regresar a su casa. Días y días pasaba después de llorando de pena, de pesar y de desesperación. Una mañana el marido volvió a su casa con expresión triunfante y agitando en la mano un ancho sobre. "Mira, mujer", dijo, "aquí tienes una cosa para ti."
She tore the paper quickly and drew out a printed card which bore these words: "The Minister of Public Instruction and Madame Georges Ramponneau request the honor of Monsieur and Madame Loisel's company at the palace of the ministry on Monday evening, January 18th. Instead of being delighted, as her husband had hoped, she threw the invitation on the table, crossly muttering, "What do you wish me to do with that?" "Why, my dear, I thought you would be glad. You never go out, and this is such a fine opportunity. I had a great trouble to get it. Everyone wants to go. It is very select, and they are not giving many invitations to clerks. The whole official world will be there."
Elle déchira vivement le papier et en tira une carte imprimée qui portait ces mots. Le ministère de l'Instruction publique et Madame Georges Amprono prient Monsieur et Madame Loisel de leur faire l'honneur de venir passer la soirée à l'hôtel du ministère le lundi 18 janvier. Au lieu d'être ravie comme l'espérait son mari, elle jeta avec dépit l'invitation sur la table, murmurant: Que veux-tu que je fasse de cela? Mais ma chérie, je pensais que tu serais contente. Tu ne sors jamais et c'est une occasion, c'est là une belle. J'ai eu une peine infinie à l'obtenir. Tout le monde en veut, c'est très recherché et on n'en donne pas beaucoup aux employés. Tu verras là, tout le monde officiel.
El ministro de Instrucción Pública y señora ruegan al señor y la señora de Loisel les hagan el honor de pasar la velada del lunes 18 de enero en el hotel del ministerio. En lugar de enloquecer de alegría, como pensaba su esposo, tiró la invitación sobre la mesa, murmurando con desprecio: ¿Qué haré yo con eso? Creí, mujercita mía, que con ello te procuraba una gran satisfacción. Sales tan poco y es tan oportuna la ocasión que hoy se presenta. Te advierto que me ha costado bastante trabajo obtener esa invitación. Todos los buscan, las persiguen, son muy solicitadas y se reparten pocos entre los empleados. Verás allí a todo el mundo oficial.
Whoa, what's this? It does not look like what we've been reading lately. Well, that is right, dear audience members. We wanted to take a little bit of a break to let you know something that you might already know about since you are at a reading event this Friday night, but maybe you don't already. Here at the library with your library card on hcplc.org, you guys can access Gale Literature, and it has literary criticism and reviews from all ages. So right now we're reading a story from the 1880s, and you can read what people were saying about it in the 1900s, in the 2000s, and 100 years from when it was written in the 1980s. One thing they said in the 1980s review that I found was that Style and Truth, the two great literary antiseptics, are scattered broadcast over the surface of everything that Guy de Maupassant has done. Maybe you're seeing a little bit of that as we're reading, but I would encourage you guys to check out all the great resources we have on our website with your library card, and maybe you can look up your favorite author, or who knows, maybe you will be a great Maupassant fan, and you can look up some other literary criticism over time. So if you guys have heard of this, go ahead and type yes in the question section. If you haven't, go ahead and type no. I hope that you've learned something new. And of course, now back to the program. Sorry for the interruption, guys.
She looked at him with an irritated glance and said impatiently, "And what do you wish me to put on my back?" He had not thought of that. He stammered, why, the gown you go to the theater in. It looks very well to me." He stopped, distracted, seeing that his wife was weeping. Two great tears ran slowly from the corners of her eyes toward the corners of her mouth. "Oh, what's the matter? What's the matter?" he answered. By a violent effort she conquered her grief and replied in a calm voice, while she wiped her wet cheeks, "Nothing. Only I have no gown, and therefore I can't go to this ball. Give your card to some colleague whose wife is better equipped than I am."
Elle le regardait d'un œil irrité et elle déclara avec impatience: Que veux-tu que je me mette sur le dos pour aller là? Il n'y avait pas songé et balbutia: Mais la robe avec laquelle tu vas au théâtre, elle me semble très bien à moi. Il se tut stupéfait et perdu en voyant que sa femme pleurait. Deux grosses larmes descendaient lentement des coins des yeux vers les coins de la bouche. Il bégaya. Qu'as-tu, qu'as-tu? Mais par un effort violent, elle avait dompté sa peine et elle répondit d'une voix calme, en essuyant ses joues humides. Rien, seulement je n'ai pas de toilette et par conséquent je ne peux aller à cette fête. Donne ta carte à quelques collègues dont la femme sera mieux nippée que moi.
Clavando en su esposo una mirada llena de angustia, le dijo con impaciencia, ¿qué quieres que me ponga para ir allá? No se había preocupado él de semejante cosa y balbució, pues el traje que llevas cuando vamos al teatro me parece muy bonito. Se cayó, estupefacto, atontado, viendo que su mujer lloraba. Dos gruesas lágrimas se desprendían de sus ojos, lentamente, para rodar por sus mejillas. El hombre murmuró, ¿qué te sucede? Pero, ¿qué te sucede? Mas ella, valientemente, haciendo un esfuerzo, había vencido su pena y respondió con tranquila voz, enjugando sus húmedas mejillas, nada, que no tengo vestido para ir a esa fiesta. Dad invitación a cualquier colega cuya mujer se encuentre mejor provista de ropa que yo.
All right, guys. Well, looks like we have got another interruption here. I am very sorry about that, but hopefully you guys are enjoying the author Guy de Maupassant. Maybe you guys already know that on NoveList Plus, available with your library card, you guys can already access read-alike books related to your favorite book instantly. So you just plug in your favorite book and it'll give you 5 or 6 other books that are in some sort of way similar. But did you know you could also find read-alike authors? These are some of the authors that are similar to Maupassant. Maybe you've heard of Victor Hugo. I had, but I had not heard of William Trevor, so I'm going to check him out after the program. And I do know that some people said they didn't know about the previous resource, Gale Literature. So go ahead and let us know if you already knew about our wonderful service, NoveList Plus. We hope that you are learning something new today. And again, I do apologize for the interruptions, but we just love to show you everything that you guys can do. Back to the show.
He was in despair. He resumed, "Come, let us see, Mathilde. How much would it cost a suitable gown, which you could use on other occasions, something very simple?" She reflected several seconds, making her calculations and wondering also what sum she could ask without drawing on herself an immediate refusal and a frightened exclamation from the economical clerk. Finally, she replied, hesitating, "I don't know exactly, but I think I could manage it with 400 francs. He grew a little pale because he was laying aside just that amount to buy a gun and treat himself to a little shooting next summer on the plain of Nanterre with several friends who went to shoot larks there of a Sunday.
Il était désolé. Il reprit. Voyons, Mathilde, combien cela coûterait-il une toilette convenable qui pourrait servir encore en d'autres occasions? Quelque chose de très simple. Elle réfléchit quelques secondes, établissant ses comptes et songeant aussi à la somme qu'elle pouvait demander sans s'attirer un refus immédiat et une exclamation effarée du commis économe. Enfin, elle répondit en hésitant. Je ne sais pas au juste, mais il me semble qu'avec 400 francs, je pourrais arriver. Il avait un peu pâli, car il réservait juste cette somme pour acheter un fusil et s'offrir des parties de chasse l'été suivant dans la plaine de Nanterre, avec quelques amis qui allaient tirer des alouettes par là le dimanche.
Él estaba desolado y dijo, vamos a ver, Matilde, ¿cuánto te costaría un traje decente que pudiera servirte en otras ocasiones? Un traje sencillito. Ella meditó unos segundos, haciendo sus cuentas y pensando a sí mismo en la suma que podía pedir sin provocar una negativa rotunda y una exclamación de asombro de empleadillo. Respondió al fin, titubeando, no lo sé con seguridad, pero creo que con 400 francos me arreglaría. El marido palideció, pues reservaba precisamente cierta cantidad para comprar una escopeta, pensando ir de casa en verano a la llanura de Nanterre, con algunos amigos que salían a tirar a las alondras los domingos.
But he said, "Very well, I will give you 400 francs, and try to have a pretty gown." The day of the ball drew near, and Madame Loisel seemed sad, uneasy, anxious. Her frock was ready, however. Her husband said to her one evening, "What is the matter? Come, you have seemed very queer these last 3 days." And she answered, "It annoys me not to have a single piece of jewelry, not a single ornament, nothing to put on. I shall look poverty-stricken. I would almost rather not go at all." "You might wear natural flowers," said her husband. "They're very stylish at this time of year. For 10 francs you can get 2 or 3 magnificent roses." She was not convinced. "No, there's nothing more humiliating than to look poor among other women who are rich."
Il dit cependant, soit je te donne 400 francs, mais tâche d'avoir une belle robe. Le jour de la fête approchait et Madame Loisel semblait triste, inquiète, anxieuse. Sa toilette était prête cependant. Son mari lui dit un soir, qu'as-tu, voyons, tu es toute drôle depuis 3 jours. Et elle répondit, c'est l'harmonie de n'avoir pas un bijou, pas une pierre, rien à mettre sur moi. J'aurais l'air misère comme tout. J'aimerais presque mieux n'aller pas à cette soirée. Il reprit, tu mettras des fleurs naturelles, c'est très chic en cette saison-ci. Pour 10 francs, tu auras 2-3 roses magnifiques. Elle n'était point convaincue. Non, il n'y a rien de plus humiliant que d'avoir l'air pauvre au milieu des femmes riches.
Dijo, no obstante, bien, te doy los 400 francos, pero trata de que tu vestido luzca lo más posible, ya que hacemos el sacrificio. El día de la fiesta se acercaba y la señora de Loisel parecía triste, inquieta, ansiosa. Sin embargo, el vestido estuvo hecho a tiempo. Su esposo le dijo una noche, ¿qué te pasa? Te veo inquieta y pensativa desde hace 3 días. Y ella respondió, me disgusta no tener ni una alhaja ni una sola joya que ponerme. Pareceré que de todos modos una miserable. Casi me gustaría más no ir a ese baile. Ponte unas cuantas flores naturales, replicó él. Eso es muy elegante, sobre todo en este tiempo, y por 10 francos encontrarás 2 o 3 rosas magníficas. Ella no quería convencerse. No hay nada tan humillante como parecernos pobre en medio de mujeres ricas.
Okay, last time I promised, but since you guys have been putting in the section that you're not usually very familiar with the services we're talking about, maybe one of our more popular services will get some yeses in the question section. I don't know, we'll see. If you do know about Kanopy, go ahead and let us know. And if you don't, I do want to remind you, we are in France today for our One Book, One Night. We are in Paris, and there are several other locations that have been mentioned. Well, the Great Tours France Through the Ages takes you through a bunch of different cities, a bunch of different areas of France, not just in the modern day, but also in the past. So it's really, really beautiful and transformative. Right now, I'm watching a Kanopy series on the Great Plague. I love it. And maybe next, I'm going to check out the Great Tours. There are so many countries there. Go ahead and let us know if you think you'd like to watch a series about a specific country. I bet you that they'll have something for you. So let's see if you guys have heard of this service. I don't know, but it is a wonderful streaming video service on our website with your library card, and you do get 10 free videos every month, although there are unlimited viewings of the great courses as well. So back to the show.
"How stupid you are," her husband cried. "Go look up your friend, Madame Forestier, and ask her to lend you some jewels. You're intimate enough with her to do that." She uttered a cry of joy. "True! I never thought of it." The next day she went to her friend and told her of her distress. Madame Forestier went to a wardrobe with a mirror, took out a large jewel box, brought it back, opened it, and said to Madame Loisel, "Choose, my dear."
Mais son mari s'écria: Que tu es bête, va trouver ton amie, Madame Forestier, et demande-lui de te prêter des bijoux. Tu es bien assez lié avec elle pour faire cela. Elle poussa un cri de joie. C'est vrai, je n'y avais pas pensé. Le lendemain, elle se rendit chez son amie et lui conta sa détresse. Madame Forestier alla vers son armoire à glace, prit un large coffret, l'apporta, l'ouvrit et dit à Madame Loisel: Choisis, ma chérie.
Pero su marido exclamó: ¡Qué tonta eres! Anda a ver a tu compañera de colegio, la señora de Forestier, y ruégale que te preste unas alhajas. Eres bastante amiga suya para tomarte esa libertad. La mujer dejó escapar un grito de alegría. ¡Ay, tienes razón! No había pensado en ello. Al siguiente día fue a su casa de su amiga y le contó su apuro. La señora de Forestier fue a un armario de espejo, cogió un cofrecillo, lo sacó, lo abrió y dijo a la señora de Loisel: Escoge, querida.
All right, guys. Well, welcome back, everyone. It looks like you guys have been learning about some things and you guys have been reading Maupassant's The Necklace with us in 3 languages. Now we kind of want to know your thoughts on the problem in the story. Have you identified a problem in the story? What do you think should happen? What do you think will happen? Go ahead and type in the question section, as you already have been doing, what you're thinking about Mathilde, about her husband, about her dilemma and her problem.
Right,
And
where she's headed, what kind of path is she on here?
It would be
yeah,
nice to think they go to the ball and have a lovely time, but it would not be much of a story.
No, and
So,
that's, yeah, that would be a very, very short book indeed, even short for one book, one night
yes,
standards.
yes, just the problem of the necklace.
so I'm curious, like Amanda and Matthew, while our participants are telling us their thoughts, have you guys read this whole story through? Do you know what is going to happen?
I have not, although we have a little more reading to do right after this, and we have a little piece at the end for anybody who wants to stick around. But you go first, Amanda, and then I'll jump in.
Well, I have read this story, so I won't give any spoilers. But something that may be interesting is, what do people think of the Madame Loisel? You know, I find her kind of a hard character to root for in some ways. So that is something, as the author sets you up. Do you think that's intentional? Do you think we're supposed to be cheering her on? Do you think we're supposed to be, is it a cautionary tale? So what do you guys think?
I'll just share one observation I had because this is my second time reading the passage we've selected for tonight. And at first I had that reaction about the first time reading it of like, oh boy, it's kind of funny, and maybe a little bit sad. But then on a second reading, I started to realize how kind of personally she feels these things. And it's not to say that it's, totally embraceable behavior. We don't want anybody to claim about, we don't want to be in a position where we're upset about our circumstances. But at the same time, it seems to be sort of an identity thing for her. She does not feel like herself. She doesn't feel like she fits in. The things that she's surrounded by don't feel like her. She's not relating to them. She's not connected to them. She really feels like there's something missing in a big way. And I need to really read the rest of the story because I kind of want to see where it goes and the choices that she's making, what they lead to. Especially being so invested in only getting happiness from the jewelry and the dress and the night, like you said, Amanda, the perfect night that she really feels like it's going to happen if she has all these things. But
Yeah.
so that thing of like not fitting in and not feeling connected to your surroundings or the people you're with, I think we do all feel that way from time to time, whether they're about possessions or our circumstances or things that have happened in our life. I think we've all been through that. That's something I really do relate to.
Interesting take on it. That I think that is a very good, sometimes it seems like you're not happy, where you are, but you're not happy with yourself, and that kind of it seeps out into every area of your life, the different things there. So
Yeah, so some interesting comments for sure, everyone. One thing I do want to challenge you after this is go ahead and look up what Maupassant's epitaph was, which he wrote himself about his own life. And, I think he'd be proud to hear these comments, to read these comments, because he really did aim to show life as it was. And in a way, life as it was for him was about disappointments and the routine. And I think we really see in Mademoiselle's life that she is a little bit stuck in a rut. She didn't have all of the wonderful resources with her library card. She didn't have Kanopy. She didn't have other transportative methods. So she really had to rely on her jewels, it seems. Thank you guys for a wonderful discussion. We are going to progress now to our last slide, but we will have more reading afterwards if you guys stick around.
That's right. We have a little encore section to share with you if you want to stick with us. Well, so this is sort of a semi-end to the program. Contact the library if you want to get in touch with us for any reason, 813-273-3652, or the contact link that you see there, hcplc.org/contact. We love to hear about how you're engaging with the library, any stories that you might have or photos you want to share of different things that you're reading, whether it's a one book, one night selection or something else. We're starting to put together our summer reading program for all ages. And so there's going to be a lot of great activities associated with that, the earlier you can become familiar with that page, the better. And then Amanda, I don't know if you're going to be putting the link to our next session or our next one book, one night.
I just shared it. It's going to be February 26th at 6:30, also a Friday. And so we are looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So in addition to hcplc.org/events for all events that we have coming up, Amanda has shared with us the next one book, one night, which is happening on February 6th. What's the book selection, Amanda?
Yeah, February 26th, and it is in honor of Valentine's Day month. We are going to be doing The Lover by Marguerite Duras. So a February read. So you can, it's a couple weeks after February, but you can still get your after Valentine's Day chocolate and your after Valentine's Day romantic read. So
perfect.
That's great. Well, guys, I'm going to tell us all right now to say goodbye to the camera for now as we prepare for our encore. So we'll see you guys in the reading, okay?
She saw first some bracelets, then a pearl necklace, then a Venetian gold cross set with precious stones of admirable workmanship. She tried on the ornaments before the mirror, hesitated, and could not make up her mind and part with them. To give them back, she kept asking, "Haven't you any more?" "Why, yes, look further. I don't know what you like." Suddenly she discovered, in a black satin box, a superb diamond necklace, and her heart throbbed with an immoderate desire. Her hands trembled as she took it. She fastened it round her throat outside her high-necked waist and was lost in ecstasy at her reflection in the mirror. Then she asked, hesitating, filled with anxious doubt, "Will you lend me this, only this?" "Why, yes, certainly."
Elle vit d'abord des bracelets, puis un collier de perles, puis une crosse vénitienne, or impérière, d'un admirable travail. Elle essayait les parures devant la glace, hésitant, ne pouvait se décider à les quitter, à les rendre. Elle demandait toujours, tu n'as plus rien d'autre? Mais si, cherche, je ne sais pas ce qui peut te plaire. Tout à coup, elle découvrit dans une boîte de satin noir une superbe rivière de diamants et son cœur se mit à battre d'un désir immodéré. Ses mains tremblaient en la prenant. Elle l'attacha autour de sa gorge, sur sa robe montante et demeura en extase devant elle-même. Puis elle demanda, hésitante, pleine d'angoisse, « Peux-tu me prêter cela, rien que cela? » « Mais oui, certainement. »
Primero vio brazaletes, luego un collar de perlas, luego una cruz veneciana de oro y pedrería primorosamente construida. Se probaba aquellas joyas ante el espejo, vacilando, no pudiendo decidirse a abandonarlas, a devolverlas. Preguntaba sin cesar, ¿no tienes ninguna otra? Sí, mujer, dime qué quieres. No sé lo que a ti te agradaría. De repente descubrió, en una caja de raso negro, un soberbio collar de brillantes, y su corazón empezó a latir de un modo inmodorado. Sus manos temblaron al tomarlo. Se lo puso, rodeando con su cuello, y permaneció en éxtasis contemplando su imagen. Luego preguntó, vacilante, llena de angustia, ¿quieres prestármelo? ¿No quieres llevar otra joya? Sí, mujer.
The night of the ball arrived. Madame Loisel was a great success. She was prettier than any other woman present, elegant, graceful, smiling, and wild with joy. All the men looked at her, asked her name, sought to be introduced. All the attachés of the cabinet wished to waltz with her. She was remarked by the minister himself. She danced with rapture, with passion, intoxicated by pleasure, forgetting all in the triumph of her beauty, in the glory of her success, in a sort of cloud of happiness comprised of all this homage, admiration, these awakened desires, and of that sense of triumph which is so sweet to a woman's heart.
Le jour de la fête arriva. Madame Loisel eut un succès. Elle était plus jolie que toutes, élégante, gracieuse, souriante et folle de joie. Tous les hommes la regardaient, demandaient son nom, cherchaient à être présentés. Tous les attachés du cabinet voulaient valser avec elle. Le ministre la remarqua. Elle dansait avec ivresse, avec emportement, grisée par le plaisir, ne pensant plus à rien dans le triomphe de sa beauté, dans la gloire de son succès, dans une sorte de nuage de bonheur fait de tous ces hommages, de toutes ces admirations, de tous ces désirs éveillés, de cette victoire si complète et si douce au cœur des femmes.
Llegó el día de la fiesta. La señora de Loisel tuvo un verdadero triunfo. Era más bonita que las otras y estaba elegante, graciosa, sonriente y loca de alegría. Todos los hombres la miraban, preguntaban su nombre, trataban de serle presentados. Todos los directores generales querían bailar con ella. El ministro reparó en su hermosura. Ella bailaba con embriaguez, con pasión, inundada de alegría, no pensando ya en nada más que el triunfo de su belleza, en la gloria de aquel triunfo, en una especie de dicha formada por todos los homenajes que recibía, por todas las admiraciones, por todos los deseos despertados, por una victoria tan completa y tan dulce para una alma de mujer.
All right, you guys. Well, now who do you see on your camera? None other than Mr. Guy de Maupassant, who is going to ask you guys one extra poll as we put our cameras back on the screen. What are you doing for the rest of the night? Maybe it's going to be reading. Maybe it's going to be something else, in which case, feel free to let us know and tell us in the comments. We really want to know what you guys are going to be up to. And maybe we can all share too a little bit about what's coming next for us. Maybe you're going to check out our streaming services, or maybe you already have a book that you're in the middle of. All right, well, it looks like we're going to have some comments because people are going to be doing something else.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amanda, Matthew, what about you guys? What will you be doing first?
Let's see. I believe I have a couple of things in store for me. My daughters are either going to make me just chase them around the house or play some version of hide and seek, and so that's a possibility. And then my younger daughter has been super into the destruction of Pompeii, and I hope that she's not going to be super into destructions her whole life. But there's this I think short, like 30 or 40-minute documentary that we found that we're going to try to sit down to, if not tonight, sometime this weekend. So one of those things will happen at least tonight.
Very nice. Well, you know, I have never, a lot of the books we've read, I've never read completely in Spanish. So I might, I was thinking as we were reading this too, it's very interesting because even though it's over 100 years old, it kind of goes to show, we always talk about a lot about the social media age being kind of that external, like showing your external life. And I think that makes this story very topical, where it's like what you can present on the outside, bringing happiness and jealousy and all those feelings. So I think that makes the story really, really more relevant than we think. So I might continue it in Spanish, or keeping on a Spanish theme, I just got a movie in by Pedro Almodovar in my hold, so I might watch a Spanish movie tonight. So
That sounds very nice. And speaking of languages, we do have a participant who said that they are studying the French language via Pimsleur, and this was incredibly helpful. Thank you
oh,
so much.
cool. Yeah.
Yay for learning. I myself will be also learning tonight. I'm learning how to play the violin, and I did find a lot of violin books on Hoopla. So
Cool.
I think I'm going to check out some digital books on violin, because all I have right now is one instructional pamphlet that I bought for myself, and I want to vary it up and switch it up a little bit. So it seems like we have someone else who's studying Spanish in high school, and it was a wonderful refresher to see us reading. So yay, we're so glad that you guys like us reading in 3 languages, and we hope you
So,
have.
yeah, Melissa. So when Madame Lasso complains about not having like the perfect necklace, you literally can get out your violin and do the sad.
Little,
We're all weeping for you.
I can't wait. You know, Matthew, I'm actually learning a song that sometimes we sing during French bilingual story time. I
Nice.
showed Amanda on screen the other day program.
we're pretty excited, hopefully soon to be seen featured. If you have any little language learners at home, we do a
Yes.
bilingual story time. The first week of the month is always French. The rest are in French, English, Spanish, English. So hopefully soon to be featured on a bilingual story time near us.
Hey, you guys are welcome. Just putting it out there.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. We've had a wonderful time, and we hope that you have too. And we'll see you, if not before, hopefully at the next One Book One Night. And good night, everybody. Bonne nuit, as you said.
Bonne nuit, everyone.
Adios.
Thank you.
Buenas noches.
Bye.